representatives of North America that made it to the World Championships in Season 8. Now clash here again in their own region. NRG currently 3-0, looking to be 4-0 and at the top of the region at the end of the day. And Spacestation looking to bounce back after losing to Sonics last
definitely looking to bounce back, but it's always tough because every time Spacestation's played NRG, it has started off okay, and then NRG has just absolutely shut them down.
Yeah.
So.
To be fair, that's how most teams go when they play
That is
NRG.
how most teams go, especially this season. But who knows? You know, maybe Arsenal's got a little something special in the tank today, and maybe gets the ball and makes Garrett and Turbo look silly back on defense. Who knows?
We might see it happen, and it's been pretty interesting the car choices this season too. Turbo was playing Mudcat in game number 1 against the team they played earlier, Flight, but they didn't. He switched off of it after they lost that game,
and then they won.
And then they
I think
won.
They
everything.
only allowed 1 goal after that. Yep, 1 goal.
They switched to triple Fennec, which I believe Monaco played in week 1. But other than that, it's one of the first times I've ever seen a team play without any Octanes or Dominuses. Usually if you have a team that's got no Octanes, it's because they've got some Dominus presence. So the Fennec, very popular. Going back to Shaw said it, that dream hack, he wins, changes up the whole scene. And I'm excited to watch these teams. Season 9 is just a fun season of Rocket League.
It is a fun season of Rocket League. I think every season's a fun season, especially this season.
Especially the one we're in right now. Spacestation Getman versus NRG. Let's get on to the field and see how it's going to go. We've got NRG in the blue, Spacestation in the orange, best of 5. As Sypical looks for an early goal. Not going to find anything. Garrett G carrying over the top of 2. Couldn't quite get it past Arsenal. Arsenal also driving the Fennec here, so 4 Fennecs, 3 Octanes. Or 2 Octanes, excuse me, that's math.
And they are going to need all the help they can get from Sypical and AXB on the defensive side of things. Those two need to find a way to stop that Garrett G Turbo or Turbo Justin combo. And it's all going to be on Arsenal to get the offense started.
That's the problem Spacestation and all the teams in North America face. There is no just 1 threat or 2 threat option. Literally any combination of the NRG players is deadly. As Justin with a tip that Garrett G was not expecting here. This will go back to the corner. AXB will look to control it, but Turbo Pulsa challenges him, takes it off of his hood, and Justin will find the transition. They lose control to Sypical in the backfield, though. Now Garrett G keeping his ball high. Turbo stretches, blocks AXB, and now looks for a pass off the backboard. There's a play from Justin. Garrett G nowhere to be seen, though. And Sypical will look to connect with Arsenal, but it gets stolen by Garrett G as he comes in at the last moment.
Yeah, Garrett G knew it really wasn't worth trying to press that touch from Turbo, but here's a chance into the middle, top right, and on the money. Justin knew there was a guy to his right. Garrett gets in his face, pop it into the middle. Turbo knew it was coming, and ooh, that's perfect.
Beautiful rocket, 78 miles per hour to the top corner, and NRG strike first in game 1. We've had big expectations for this Spacestation roster that has slowly solidified themselves here in North America. Justin looking for a bump on Sypical, but the block still comes through. Turbo's follow-up goes wide. Now Arsenal with a flick over 1. Justin, simple move. Takes his whole tank of boost to get the second block.
And that's the thing. You can always trust Arsenal, I think, to always beat one person. But you need that follow-up to be right behind it.
Garrett G got tangled up with Turbo, but Turbo found the block, and now they've staved off the first offensive drive. The rest of Spacestation coming on through, keeping this ball in the corner. Turbo beat by 1. Justin with a nice long clear to a dead area of the field. AXB will adjust to try and take control, but Justin chases across from caddy corner. And now Garrett G coming back down. Turbo to 1. AXB trying to connect with Arsenal here. Justin's happy just to use all of his boots to hover in the air with the ball.
And he can only do that because he's got a player like Turbo sitting behind him. He knows he can try and make something happen because he knows Turbo's one of the most patient dudes in this entire league.
Arsenal to the edge, now back into the midfield. Turbo and Garrett G double commit on defense. Justin's got to buy time here as the infield pass comes through. Justin still makes the save. An excellent effort from Spacestation, about the best thing they could have possibly done in that situation, and Justin still shuts it down.
Yeah, even that shot was pretty solid towards that top corner, and he still was able to reach it.
Turbo against Arsenal. Now Typical versus Garrett G. They win 2. Can Justin do it once more? He's got more space this time. They will make the stop. Excellent midfield play. Something we were complimenting Garrett G on earlier at the desk. But here's the follow from Turbo Pulsa. The speed again. It's 2-0 NRG.
Yeah, this was just Justin popping one towards the wall. AXB doesn't get all of it. Typical is stuck sideways, so he can't challenge the ball. And Turbo notices there's going to be this teeny window. That really was not big. Typical was pretty close to making it to that, despite his ability to literally make the 3-point turn to try and face that way.
But he still finds the shot. Turbo Pulsa now with 2 goals. Game number 1. 150 on the clock. Justin looking for the plays. He's out of boost. Sets it up for Garrett G. The defense already airborne. Will make the stop. Arsenal hanging behind AXB. Now Typical coming up. Justin again shuts them down. Arsenal back down and in to set up to Garrett G. Just takes the shot from midfield. Typical's got the block out to AXB. Can he find the clear? Beats Garrett G.
Oh,
Turbo pulls it up. Garrett G looking for the crazy shot. Couldn't quite tuck it underneath the crossbar. Shot it straight down.
I just said score it because I just want to see him score crazy goals.
It would have probably been the craziest goal of the day. Now here's Justin with the flick and in. 3-0 NRG have the number here in game number 1.
And Justin has help from Turbo. Wins the ball, but forces the defense to think about how they're going to save it. Makes Typical think about the demo and the save. And again, perfect execution. Justin into the top. Can't reach it. And all is as it should be if you're an NRG fan.
Justin is really settling into what makes him so strong. The ability to play loose and clean. Oh my goodness, the passing plays from Spacestation nearly work out on the far side. Up by 3 NRGs, more or less secured game number 1, but still always the chance of a crazy comeback from Spacestation. But Justin, when he feels comfortable to use all of his boost whenever he feels like it, when he is genuinely the most deadly. When you've got Turbo and Garrett G playing well behind you, that's when he can do literally whatever he wants.
It's that value. Oh, nice pass. And Garrett G sniffed that one out. Wow.
What a read. The defense just playing perfection right now as they are set to shut out Spacestation. If Spacestation can just get a single goal, will help bring them back here and break up some momentum.
And they've had some pretty great looks, a lot of one-on-one chances. And NRG has just come up with some massive stops in this game 1. I mean, we're sitting here talking about like NRG's kind of running the table, but to be honest, they've had to make some real tough saves against this Spacestation squad.
It's Turbo through 1, AXB onto the wall. Arsenal up for it, but blocked by Garrett once more in the final 5 seconds. It's Turbo with all the ball control. He'll keep this one away from the defenders. Sends it onto the backboard. A follow-up from Garrett G down to Justin, blocked by the defense. And Garrett G will just play it away. Does Arsenal find a way to put this one in? No, it'll just touch the ground. NRG take game 1 with complete control. And my goodness, I want to go back to that Garrett G stop because, again, the infield passes from Spacestation over and over again in this final minute were beautiful. And the defense of NRG knew where it was like 3 years in advance. It was pretty insane, but game number 1 was all Turbo Pulsa and Justin. Justin getting that final goal to go ahead, as it was Turbo to the edge. Justin, again, he barely stops boosting through the play as he manages to ball all the defense. Turbo set him up beautifully.
Just spends all the time over there. Justin, I mean, it's the control, the finesse. And it's what he made a name on, and it's what he, like you were talking about, it's what gets him so comfortable when he says, all right, I have all the boost that I could need for whatever I think I'm about to do. And the best part about it is he is the epitome of gifted improviser when it comes to Rocket League. Give him the ball and any amount of boost in any position, and he will still do something new with it every time.
How many people go up to block something, pop the ball, and it kind of goes out of your zone of influence, and they're like, I can still reach that. I'm going to continue to boost after it and chase it down one more time. He did that multiple times in this series, and honestly, when he feels comfortable to do that,
dangerous.
It's just so dangerous. So the thing I will say for Spacestation, though, I loved the midfield challenges. Garrett G wasn't completely unchallenged there.
Yeah.
They were managing to win the ball back in their favor a few times. That's definitely something they can start to build a comeback on.
But Spacestation got their backs up against the wall. They did, like, you're absolutely right. A lot of the time, a lot of those good possessions came from breaking down the defense, but a couple of them also on solid counterattacks. It's just NRG's defense had to do a little bit of extra work to keep the ball out, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Spacestation crack the net this time around. You can't keep making big stops like that all the time.
3-car pile up in the corner will space itself out. Now Spacestation will look for their first goal of the series. NRG stretches in the midfield. AXB looking for Arsenal. Justin won't make contact. Now Arsenal looking for G, but he flies over his head. Garrett with a nice soft play. Looked for a second touch and it works. Turbo pulls it with a rare miss in the midfield. Justin plays slow and waits for the rest of Spacestation to make mistakes. G trapping it once more, and it's just been slow, methodical play as he gets it through one, now through two. Can he get the pass across? No, AXB, an excellent adjustment to block Turbo's shot.
Very smart to read that Garrett wasn't trying to play the 1v1 for the shot, was going for the pass, and AXB picked up on that. It's a great read on his part to stop a dangerous opportunity.
Here comes Arsenal on the far side, nearly gets the tap in, and a double commit on defense, but it's nice and low to the ground. They'll space out immediately. NRG able to advance. Turbo empty in the tank. I think he gets the corner. Now AXB against Typical, pass back down. Arsenal's got it away. Here's G, pass across. Turbo pulls and stretches for it, but misses again. Now Justin puts it high. Garrett doesn't like the look and just chooses to fall back, trusting his ability to challenge this ball off of Spacestation's hoods. Comes Garrett to the corner. Justin sets it up. Turbo going to be airborne, but broken up by Typical, and now Arsenal with the extension at midfield.
And Arsenal's trying. Again, he's the key to victory for Spacestation Gaming once they get the ball. He's got to find ways to beat defenders.
Turbo's like, thanks, Arsenal. Appreciate you killing that and passing it to me. Typical pick it up off of Turbo's touch. With 3 minutes left to go, pretty quiet game number 2 here. Both teams with good looks, good opportunities, but nothing finding the back of the net just yet.
For AXB, there's, so close, and G wisely. I mean, you can't take the risk that there's somebody behind you and let that ball go. He just tips it onto the corner because it's the safer play. But right now, NRG, they're kind of stuck.
It's AXB setting up reciprocal, looks for the double tap, but can't get there. The clear comes through. Halftime, no goals on either side as Justin flicks it past one. AXB in the corner, Typical there as well now. Typical waits his time, but G gets it out to Justin. AXB's got up in time. Here comes Turbo Pull, so he'll have a free touch. Can he find a second one? No, just bails on the ball. And now G into the corner once more, just trying to draw SSG out of position and out of the goal. Here comes Justin up against AXB, straight in front of him. He'll make the block, and now Turbo Pull, so looks for the slow play, and Typical's got it red. He'll put it off to the side, but now out of boost and sitting on his own tank. He'll find it as he gets the pill in the corner. Arsenal up against Justin, now back down. Turbo pulls a looks for the shot, gets it off the wall. That one's got a lot of pace on it. NRG's got to fall back quickly.
Nice.
Justin, what a setup. Here comes G. 33 boost in the tank, but broken up again. AXB on that back wall has been pretty clean today.
That's a good job from G as well to just try and play the ball there. He knows he only has enough boost to work with a missed touch, so he doesn't even waste his time trying to go for a challenge that he can't make. Just takes the opportunity to, if they miss it, I'm going to make a good touch and let my teammates worry about it. And that's a rare miss. Do they turn it on? Arsenal behind him.
Well done. The shot placement from Arsenal will give Spacestation their first goal and the lead here in game 2.
That missed touch in the midfield. Typical dumps it off, and no chance for G. Perfect execution from SSG. Finally, a mistake on defense, and NRG will have to find a goal in 86 seconds.
Well, I think it was 2. I think Turbo also missed a shot, but here comes the follow-up. Arsenal makes the save, but Turbo and Justin both missing. The 2 whiffs is what it took to set up an infield pass that took still perfect placement. NRG's defense, even when 2 people fall apart, can still have it work. Now Arsenal looks for the security. They'll get it.
Same spot.
107, same placement and same player. 2 goals now for Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal just stealing away the boost. Typical goes right towards the middle, and Turbo Pulsa just cannot readjust to deal with a ball that just stopped right in the middle and popped up. And G right behind him. Can't defend the back post once again. Arsenal finds it.
We said it was the match of the week, or the match of the day here for North America. And after game number 1, it looked like it might have just been a complete stomp from NRG, but Spacestation come back into this with 1 minute remaining. The game's not out of reach, but pretty unlikely NRG's going to be able to find 2.
Oh dear,
especially they're not going to be able to find 3. The game is now over.
Yep, the game is now over, and that's just because Turbo doesn't catch this one properly. Comes down the wall with a little too much speed, gets out in front of it, and instead of having it land cleanly on the front of his car, lands right on top, kicks up, and Typical. We'll take that one with a thank you very much attached to him.
Honestly, with Typical's speed, I'm not sure if the ball had landed in front of his car if it wouldn't have still been a goal. There was Turbo was definitely caught in a rough situation where that ball was inevitably going to cross his net. Sypical was looking for that. He knew that. With 30 seconds left now, plenty of time for NRG to start thinking about game number 3. What do we want to do differently here is and honestly, if they can find a goal, that would be nice just to kind of break up the mirror match here. They scored 3 on SSG in game number 1 and shut them out. And now here, being shut out, having 3 scored, they'd like to be able to maintain some of the momentum.
And a significant lack of Justin being able to get a hold of all those boosts and really make the defense think about what he's about to do with it. As no, Garrett G will make a nice backflip save to keep the score line at 3-0 for game 2. But NRG, I mean, they started off pretty solid, you know, some clean back and forth. Spacestation started working them back in, boxing them into their own half, and finally a couple of misses, and just like that, bang, game's out of reach with no time.
I mean, those 3 goals happened within around 40 seconds of each other.
30, 40 seconds.
1 goal was all it took, and then bam, 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 they managed to put 3 in.
And that's just unfortunate there for Turbo right at the end. Unclean catch, Sypical ate it up.
This one is the best microcosm of how this game went for NRG.
Yeah, it's like
just one mistake, that's all it was.
Whoops.
And the other mistakes happened a little bit further away from the mistake, or from the shot rather.
Spacestation there to clean it up.
But yeah, a very slow-paced game here, where NRG's offense in game number 1 was decently spread out. SSG needed kind of 4 minutes of warm-up or so to get going here in game number 2. But this does set us up for quite the series game, guaranteed at least game 4. And I'm excited to see which team in the chess match makes the best move here in game 3.
Yeah, and you were talking about Justin and the control and the air dribbles and using all the boost and stuff. And there's a twofold value to that. One, Justin is good enough to maybe just beat all the defense and score it, or set it up for the offense to score. So that's sort of 1.5 points on its own. But 2, the biggest part of it is you gain ball control, and what that does is it wastes time. And the importance of wasting time in that scenario is it lets Garrett G and Turbo have the extra time as Justin's just spinning here, flipping and twisting and holding onto the ball to go grab the boost and get set in the midfield for the next couple of challenges. And that level of control is so valuable and gives NRG a lot of time to make sure they're ready wherever on the pitch.
Turbo Pulsa was reading the flip reset, managed to get a block, but still Spacestation got a shot there following kickoff. Sypical with not the best save, but he managed to get a pinch off of Garrett. Now over to the edge. Off of 1, here comes AXB. Play back down. Over the top, Justin switching up the decals again, sticking on the Fennec, but keeping his flashy colors. As the passes come back in front of the box, AXB over to the side, Turbo Pulsa. Got that nice long touch, but didn't have any follow-up. And now Sypical controlling this midfield. Spacestation managed to stay on offense for the first minute here of game number 3.
Nice ideas.
A little bit of space here. AXB leaves it for Sypical, and there's nobody from NRG. Justin gets 1 demolition. Garrett G passed 1. Sypical's got to make the save, and he gets it away. Turbo Pulsa, understanding Sypical's control, had hung back at midfield.
Oh.
Now back off to the side. Here's Justin. Lots of space, lots of boost. Can he do it all the way? He's got the flip reset, but broken up. Sypical will have none of it. Says, stop with your shenanigans.
Exactly, and all it did was buy time. It let Turbo run all the way back to his own half, grab the boost, and after Justin just lost the ball, Turbo's right there for it. And now they're back into the neutral game. So they lost possession, but it didn't matter.
Sypical kind of reverse Goombaing Justin away from that save. And Sypical onto the backboard. Does he have his own follow-up? Ball was wide. He just goes for the demolition, but there's not really a solid position here to use that demolition. Justin comes off the respawn, makes the touch out to Turbo, and they're really struggling to get this ball going long ways, though. They're playing it laterally well. Finally, the clear comes through. Justin over the top of 1. Garrett G wins that challenge. Back down to Justin. Tries to push it into the box. Does he have enough boost? No boost at all. He can't gain any speed to just push it in front of the box, so Turbo can just dumpster it in.
That was a nice job from Arsenal getting out in front of that one, too, despite a couple of nice challenges from NRG. Looking for the seam, and it's down to Turbo, and it's not fast enough.
Sypical makes the save. An excellent outfield pass. But Sypical makes that adjustment. Quality play in Spacestation, showing why they were one of the best teams in North America last year. Garrett G stretching for this one. Own goal, nearly puts it in, but Sypical bounces it off of his own crossbar, says not a problem. Then finds a clear. Now Garrett G looks for another one. Arsenal's got this touch, but both defenders bit. Can they push through the front line off defense? And no, the answer is Arsenal and AXB find the clears.
Yeah, Turbo was looking for the demo on AXB too, but you could see the hesitation from NRG. They weren't sure if it was going to come through. Now you'll see if Spacestation can jam NRG on their own half again like they did in Game 2.
Garrett through one. Now the dunk on the second. Still 70% of his boost to work with. Finds a touch, finds a chase, opens up space. Turbo and Justin now moving up, but Sipical by himself will dismantle everything Garrett just did. Now he comes back in once more, trying to pressure him. The bumps onto multiple players. What happened here? Turbo causing chaos.
So they lose the ball, but Garrett G's already rotated back, and Turbo playing forward goes for two things. One, either the bump, or two, the redirect.
How does he bump the defender and not touch the ball? That was insane. Turbo, what a setup.
Oh wait, Turbo actually got the goal.
Oh, Turbo did touch the ball. Okay,
He did touch the ball.
I can't read, apparently.
Me neither.
Well done. NRG scores the first goal in a creative fashion. As Typical will look to dribble this out. Turbo sits in net, pre-jumps for it, gets the block. Garrett G demolished. Can the follow-up come through? But no, it's too wide. Arsenal has to play for the pass. Typical also will touch it to the corner. They beat Garrett G there. Justin airborne. And Arsenal traps it against the wall. Turbo quickly closes that gap, holds this ball in midfield, gets it past Arsenal. Can he trap it one more time? No. Typical gets it away, puts it high. Now
Open
Garrett G,
goal.
the shot. Justin should be there. He makes that save despite the demolitions in the midfield. Turbo back down. Arsenal off respawn, puts it high. Justin, what a read. Back down and in.
Nice.
XB looks for the misdirection. It's not there. And with 1 minute left, NRG, they've got one goal, and it might be the only one they need. And what has been a stingy Arsenal defense, their offense has been really raring to go here. Justin with an absolute howitzer down the field. Typical to the edge. Now Arsenal holding on to this by himself. Challenges against Justin, pushes it through. Justin comes back down off the wall, gets it backwards, flicks it over two, and Typical has to break this up before it gets too crazy. Now Arsenal back through the air with 30 seconds left. The pass across to Typical. Turbo pulls it, shuts it down. Now can he find the goal? Keeps it high. AXB puts it off to the wall, and Garrett G cannot finish that one off. 20 seconds left. NRG's holding on.
The big brain understanding from Turbo Pulsa there, understanding they're trying to go for the three-point pass play. Cut down the lane, because if it goes straight, it's going to go into the corner, and that'll be no problem. Typical pops one down, but nobody home. And Spacestation will have to go the final moments from their own half.
Can they get it 2 players up? That one should secure the game here. It'll fall down, and that'll be a goal. At 1 second left, not possible to score 2. Garrett G will secure the game for NRG, and they'll be on match point.
Can't put this one in the montage, though. Still time on the clock. Garrett, you should be disappointed.
It could have been a buzzer beater.
It could have been a buzzer beater. It's fine.
Even though they can't win.
Now it can't go in the montage.
Yeah, you can't have all that like fluff on the end there.
It's just extra replay time. That's right. Can't have that.
2-0, 5 goals to 3 on the series so far from NRG versus Spacestation. It's been a nice even one, a back and forth of back-to-back like inverse shutouts.
Yep.
Games 1 and 2, and now 2-0. The trend continues here.
And this game felt to me like Spacestation Gaming a lot of times after we check out this nice 1 second goal from Garrett G, for shame.
All you had to do is just slow it down.
Just rotate back a little bit.
Yeah. The goal still goes in.
The goal still goes in. Beautiful
Goal explosion, too. Get your rocket pass.
See, look, he rotated forward. Like, come on, man.
Come on, he's playing. Hey, man, this is a guy that got to where he's at by always playing the best he possibly can.
That's true.
And the guy that has won a world championship and still focuses so heavily on this game. It's so easy for champs to fall off. It's so easy for them to be like, well, what is the point now? Like, the drive is gone because they did what they've set out to do, and he still continues. I remember talking about the world championship too, just being like, so you playing any other games? What else are you doing? Like, let's stop talking about Rocket League. There's nothing there's nothing you and I can't tell each other about this game. Well, there's a lot he could tell me, but like, there's like, how am I supposed to have a conversation with you? What else you want to talk about? He's like, I'm not playing anything else. I play Rocket League. If I played another game, that would mean I would be becoming worse at Rocket League. I'm supposed to play this game. This is the whole point of my life right now. And he is very, very good at this video game.
And, you know, it's led him to a very high point. In fact, the World Championship. So he's done well so far. And NRG, I feel like a good start in Game 3, but Game 4, I'm curious to see if Spacestation makes some adjustments. It felt like they were just so ready for NRG to be right in their face that they would rush touches and kind of just give the ball away. So curious to see if that field awareness from Spacestation picks up and they get a bit more possession here.
Justin slows this down, but none of his team was there to pick up the pass as it came across the midfield. Arsenal will make a touch now. Garrett G trying to advance. Turbo will come in to pick up control, and Spacestation a little bit caught off guard in the beginning of game 4. So far in the series, the team that has scored first has won.
True.
The momentum is maintained. No team has managed to, there has not been, both teams have yet to score in the same game. So that first goal might be all that matters as Justin goes for the air carry, looks for a flip reset, doesn't quite get it, and Arsenal will take it off of his car. It's typical to pass out to AXB. Turbo Pulsa, long clears. Back into the Space Station half. Justin up, Garrett G demolished in the midfield. Arsenal with not the best position to take that pass. Actually kept the ball neutral in the midfield, and AXB bails on the touch. Now Garrett G up against Arsenal, looks for the flick on one. Turbo pulses up for the shot, but couldn't make it work. Now Justin comes in to see if he can do it before they have to fall back.
And now NRG, they just sit there because they're like, okay, Justin has command, and we just have to make sure we read the challenge.
There's no reading this, just what happened.
What happened?
Let's just watch. Here comes Justin in the midfield up against AXB. He'll send it laterally. And now look for a shot himself, but loses control and doesn't have any boost. It's a long fall back down. His team will be a little bit marooned. Luckily for them, Arsenal manages to gain control. Sipical played underneath Garrett G. NRG's having to play a lot in their own corner right now. Now Justin up against Arsenal. Block it as he makes the wall thicker. Turbo Pulsa. Can't get it quite out here. The corners have been safe spaces for both teams. Once the ball's there, there's really not much offensive pressure that comes no matter how many cars they throw at it. Garrett G makes the play off the wall. Justin, half a tank to work with. AXB will break it up though.
Great clear. All
the way to the counter corner. Garrett rotates back as Turbo looks for a counter clear. Justin to the edge here with approaching halftime. Turbo Pulsa with a miss though. Arsenal wants to close in, but everybody respected Turbo's touch.
Yeah, understandably.
Now Justin, the pass across, broken up by Sipical. Here comes Space Station. Can they find the goal? No. Garrett G keeps so much speed on that ball, it barely falls out of the sky as it makes the entire length of the field.
Well, they just handed him the ball. Here we go.
AXB looking to play fullback. There'll be no luck. Sipical back in the middle. Garrett G airborne. Or Garrett G demolished. Turbo Pulse airborne rather. And now Justin looks for it, but slow in the midfield. Arsenal is coming over the top of him. Garrett G off the respawn makes a touch, and Justin got bumped. Can he possibly pressure AXB? He was looking for it. With 1:49 left to go. Been a very similar game to game 3.
Yeah.
This comes back down. Justin slows this down, tries to pinch it off of Sipical, but Sipical doesn't have any of it. Now AXB crossing his own net across from Arsenal, but Garrett G not close enough to finish it. Both teams playing safe and methodical, neither willing to really commit on offense. And it's doing well to keep them alive, but some goal scoring opportunities going awry. Now here comes a shot from Arsenal. Justin's right there. Sends it off to the edge. We'll approach this final minute, getting into golden goal territory.
There's the pressure in the net from Space Station, trying to crack that NRG shell. And Arsenal, like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Garrett G drove up the wall, and Arsenal just immediately ripped that ball as hard as he could out of a scoreable position just because he didn't want Garrett G to touch the ball.
Arsenal through the air, finds the second touch onto the backboard. Falling back down's not going to have anything as he's out of boost. Garrett G to the edge. Sipical back down. Justin to Turbo, looking for Garrett. No, it's just too far away, and Arsenal will have an easy clear. Garrett G back down. A bump from Turbo onto AXB could break up the rotation, but Arsenal's just done so much work holding onto this ball. 30 seconds remaining.
Nice cover.
Back number 1. Turbo pulls it up onto the backboard. Won't have the second touch. AXB again breaks it up. Now Justin through 1. Up against Arsenal. Beats him. Back to the corner. Turbo Pulse has got the response. AXB already airborne to the edge. The defensive Space Station's holding on, but they're struggling to find offensive opportunities.
Another overtime?
10 seconds left. Yep, overtime glimmering on the horizon as Garrett G looks for Justin. Just enough boost? No, not quite. Garrett G now keeps it up. Turbo pulls the airborne, looking for the all or nothing play. Sipical will break it up. AXB with the tank to work with, but this will fall into no man's land and die. Overtime in game 4. If NRG score, the series ends.
Real nice job from Justin there just to make sure that Space Station get the touch they wanted. That's a big win, and Justin forced to tip it in case Space Station put the pressure on. And a big miss, Garrett G. Oh, you went for the fake.
Typical doesn't quite bite, goes for the side flip, just follows along with that ball. Now Arsenal and AXB, dual threat on the edge here. Uses the wall instead of his teammate. Turbo Pulsa can't quite get there. Justin keeps it high. Typical onto the side. Garrett G up, AXB beat, can to get the double tap.
Hey!
AXB sends us to Game 5. And oh my goodness, a back and forth affair.
That's a repeat of the shot from last week for AXB. Another beautiful read off that top corner, and they'll get them all the way to Game 5. Well done, AXB.
This series is just so one side than the other. The question for me in Game 5 is, will both teams score? Will both teams score in the same game? Because so far it hasn't happened yet. But we have gotten to Game 5. We expected this one to go the distance, the match of the week. And this one was all because of AXB. Honestly, his defense too, on the not in goal. It isn't reflected in the saves, but in the corners, the way he was constantly breaking up the double tap setups that people like Justin were going for. AXB was so strong.
Real nice job from Spacestation. I'm definitely with you. The defense is what wins that game for them in Game 4, just like NRG's defense is, I think, what kept it out of overtime for them in Game 1, because Spacestation Gaming had a lot of great opportunities back there. So Game 5, all bets are off. I will go out on a limb and say yes, both teams score.
I would hope so. But if the trend continues, this is going to be a one-goal game for NRG that wins it.
But at the same time, I mean, NRG's starting to show a little bit of cracks there in Game 4. A lot of misses, allowed Spacestation Gaming, a lot of pitch control.
And safe play. Constantly playing to the corners. I saw so few opportunities where I felt like, oh, Spacestation's got to make a crazy save. They've got to really find a way to dig deep and read what's going to happen here. They're just constantly going to the corners, constantly getting broken up at the midfield as well, which I think Spacestation's midfield game is strengthened throughout the course of this series. That might be part of why, but you know NRG can find a way to beat the best of them, but make them sweat.
But that's also how NRG, does things. They're a team that isn't about always making the big play. Are they capable of it? Yes, but the philosophy on offense for NRG is beat the man. Get the ball by the guy. Don't worry about where it goes. Just beat the man. And that's why you see a lot of fairly safe play from NRG on the offensive side.
Well, into Game 5, this one is all or nothing. Justin doing his fairy peak impression with that paint job. Sipical will put it to the corner. Looks for a shot. Justin's got a save. Garrett G half flips around looking for the touch. Arsenal doesn't make much of this on the wall, looking to back pass it to AXB, and Garrett G lets him do it, just gives him the space. And now the setup. Here comes Spacestation. Sipical, the earliest they've scored yet. Spacestation's got the lead.
Ate him alive. Nice bit of command from Arsenal. Get it on the back pass. AXB hard cut, and Turbo Pulsa for once can't read the passing lane. Dives too far, and Sipical cuts it right down.
1-0 for Spacestation. They've given NRG a lot of time to come back. And at this point, you might be like, why are we talking about comebacks 40 seconds in? Well, again,
all shutouts.
No team has scored when they didn't score the first goal in this series, so.
And this is a dangerous precedent to set here with Spacestation Gaming coming out here in Game 5, and again, starting off on the offensive front, boxing NRG in.
It's Turbo Pulsa 3-1. Garrett G again into the corner, and Arsenal's happy to see it there. AXB will pass out. Arsenal up, looks for Sipical. A pass back down, that beats one. And now the shot from midfield. Maybe could have controlled it and take the shot later, but still love to see this formation. And now on the other side, Garrett G looks to ball Arsenal, but man, Arsenal has just had Garrett's number over and over again. And now the long clear. Spacestation playing like a team that wants to win it. Garrett comes in from the corner and makes the save. Oh my goodness.
Huge save from Garrett. Nice little hiccup there from AXB. Forces Turbo to delay, and what do they got?
Sipical back down to Arsenal. Garrett G and company have had no midfield control this series. Spacestation have been able to do whatever they want, and they're constantly going for these passes. A demolition onto Garrett, and again, AXB, lots of space. Turbo tries to challenge him, but it falls back down. Justin will get it away.
AXB almost made that probably the prettiest goal of the day.
It's Garrett G with an attempt. Sipical now in the corner, beaten by Turbo, but he's low on boost, even though that cluster is right there. Arsenal now through the air. Garrett G stops him. A miss from Justin opens up space for Turbo. But
there's a demo.
There's Sipical coming up against Garrett G. Grabs it. Garrett G gets one block, and Turbo's got the save. What a stop from Garrett. And now Justin with an attempt. Arsenal in the corner. Looking to set this one up by himself. See if he can find the dish. Nearly gets there. Actually sets it up. AXB. Spacestation's got a 2-goal lead.
Garrett makes a hero save. Arsenal beats the man, sticks it to the wall. Turbo just undercuts it a little bit. He ran out of boost, I'm pretty sure. And that's why he didn't get any higher up to that ball, and they just can't make the cover up.
Garrett G tries in the goal line, but again, 2 goalies there. It happens in the split second that Justin misses. Garrett G, there's nothing he could do. Arsenal, an attempt now, Garrett G in the corner. Turbo pulls it back down, Garrett G's up for it, but AXB, perfect defense, holds again.
Now it's dangerous if you're NRG. You know.
Gotta find a way back into this series. You have to score at this point. Not that you didn't have to score before, but like it just feels so much more dire in the way that this series has gone. Now AXB holds on, and again, Garrett G and company can only seem to find a way to get the ball to the corner. This sets up Sipical, gets blocked by AXB. The clear goes long, and Justin will wait for Arsenal's touch. And Arsenal's happy to burn time. Justin over the top of one. AXB off the wall is perfect again. Arsenal back down and in. Sipical tries to stall it out in the corner,
nice.
But what was this challenge? Turbo Pulsa says thank you very much, and finally we've got goals on both sides of the scoreboard.
Real smart here from Turbo. Arsenal, I'm not sure what that was. Turbo just, I mean, he drives that forward and then hits the backflip because he's expecting the defense to hit that as they drive across the goal. That means it's going to come right back out to that near side of the box. So Turbo just backflips to put himself in that lane, but either way, Spacestation Gaming don't make the save.
Finally, NRG will break the pattern, but they still need another goal. 1:38 left to go. They've got plenty of time to work with, but man, only being able to score on Spacestation mistakes is not a great recipe right now. Spacestation has played so clean for so many games.
Oh dear.
Here comes Arsenal looking to get the lead right back. 2-goal lead again as they find the holes on defense.
Mistouch. Sipical wins the ball. Garrett G under duress is forced to go for a touch that he really would much rather have a little more time to think about how to approach it. And the forced error from Spacestation earns him a third one.
126. NRG needing to find 2 goals. Spacestation looking to break their perfect record here. And bounce back after a loss in week 2. The defense holds again. Spacestation has been so good, but here comes Justin, the defense. Oh my goodness, the misses. The shot from Garrett. Oh, the shot is just too high. Tipped up by the defense. The opportunities, it looked like it would be a 1-goal game guaranteed, but no. Spacestation just barely holds on enough. Now Turbo back down on the far side, the counterattack. Turbo couldn't make the touch. It's a 3-goal game.
Arsenal again, the back pass, control of the ball here in game 5, and Turbo doesn't cleanly square up the clear, and that is it.
It was a touch like that in game 2 that basically secured the loss for NRG. Turbo Pulsa struggling on that backboard. Now Justin, 52 seconds left, down by 3. This would be one of the best comebacks in RLCS history if Garrett G and company were able to make this happen. Garrett G looks for it. To the top of one, Sipical in the corner.
Arsenal.
Oh my goodness.
What a read.
They find the stop, but burn in time, the name of the game. Demolitions, sure, why not? Spacestation after dropping 3 goals in game number 1. And looking like they were completely outclassed, come flying back, put in another one, 5-1. SSG is taking this series home.
What a day for Spacestation Gaming. Picking apart all the missed touches from NRG in games 4 and 5. A lot of missed balls on the defensive half. NRG played great defense to start, but they can't be perfect all the time. And Arsenal has a heck of a game in game 5 with great control of the ball, constantly looking for the back passes, trying to hang on to possession. NRG crack a little bit on defense, and Spacestation make them all pay.
They crack a lot. 4 seconds left. The Brazil's possible. I'd love to see Spacestation make the statement. As they put in another one, NRG definitely a little bit deflated right now.
Yeah.
And not playing with all their energy, knowing the win is out of reach. And what was a hard-fought series with 2 brilliant performances from NRG will fall flat. It's Arsenal. Can he pick this one up? Can he go for it? He's going to have trouble keeping this one up, and Spacestation will win it 6-1 in game 5. What a statement they make as they knock off NRG.